give Detroit a lot of credit. They came in and they whooped us pretty good. I was pleased with our team's effort in the second half. I told them, I had challenged them at halftime that, to just continue to go out there and compete. I thought we did that. We had an opportunity. It was down 10, and we had a bad penalty to make it a 3-possession game. But, every area, there's a lot of improvement out there for us. I think any time that you go out there and you can't effectively run the football and conversely can't stop the run, that's a recipe for losing football. And that's what happened tonight. And give Detroit credit. We knew they were a tough opponent, but they manhandled us really in every phase.
Matt, how much of the defense kind of falling apart in the first half was just the offense couldn't get them a rest?
I think there's a lot to that. I think, we were 3 and out, 5 possessions in a row or whatever it was. It was very humbling, and sometimes that happens, but we can't continue to go backwards. We keep going backwards. We're in 3rd and long situations. We knew they were going to be a challenge to run the football against. They've done a nice job with that. We had some run pass options, some can plays, and give credit to them. They did a good job, because when we threw it, we weren't very effective throwing the football either. So, or at least early on. I think as the game went on, we were able to get some stuff going, but obviously it was way too little, too late.
What do you think happens when you have to cause a first half like that, where you got nothing?
We saw Pete. We got our ass kicked. If I knew, it wouldn't have happened.
Matt, they didn't blitz until
That's a BS question, man.
They didn't blitz until the last play of the first half. They sent 4 or less most of the time. Why couldn't you guys protect, do you think?
It wasn't good enough. They whipped us. They manhandled us. Again, if I knew the answer to that, it wouldn't have happened.
Matt, Jordan played better in the second half, obviously with the pick at the end, but otherwise played much better statistically speaking. Early, he was under duress. He was sacked 4 times. What did you think of his performance overall, despite some of the struggles up front?
Yeah, it's hard to throw on your back. We got to protect him better. We got to look at some of the things we're asking our guys to do. In the second half, we had one of the protections that's 100% on me. Called a play pass. They brought a blitz. It was when he spit the ball out to Rome. We lose 11 yards on that play. That's on the play caller. That's a bad play call for the situation. So, there's plenty of blame to go around. I'm always going to look at myself first and foremost and see what kind of position we're putting the offense in, and it wasn't good enough.
Just how big of a concern is the line with, obviously Dave's out, Zach's banged up, Elton's out. You're kind of running out of bodies there.
That's what it is. I don't think anybody's feeling sorry for us. So we got to get better. We got to look at what we're asking our guys to do. It just, everything wasn't good enough. So the plan wasn't good enough. That was humiliating, being down 27-3 or whatever it was at half.
The 2-minute worked really well for you in the fourth quarter last game. Did you kick around going into that just to jumpstart you? Just start the second half? Or?
Yeah, we talked about it. At some point, we've got to try to get a normal offense going. I think that's something that we'll take a good hard look at, over the course of these next 10 days, over the weekend, just trying to find different ways to, when it's not going right, how do you flip the momentum? How do you get it going in your favor? But, it just, give credit to them. They got a good defense. They fly around. They're very physical, and they play really hard. So they did a nice job. They outcompeted us and out executed us tonight.
Matt, I'm sorry for not knowing the field goal block rules. I know you can't use leverage and push off another guy. It did look like Quaid just jumped over everybody. That's illegal too?
You got to be within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, so you cannot get a running start and do that.
You said that was a bad penalty. How critical? It's probably obvious, but how critical is that? Because they settled for the field goal.
Yeah, that was bad. It's a bad deal. So, I'm not going to sit here and blame Quay. Obviously, we got to do a better job of educating our players. about what the rules are. So again, that's on me.
You've given up 200 rushing yards in 2 of the 4 games now. It's kind of, it was an issue last year too. How do you get that solidified?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something different because it's insane to do the same things over and over again and expect a different result. So that is a good offensive line. They got really good runners. I think Gibbs and Montgomery are 2 of the better backs. It's one of the best offensive lines in ball, but it's still inexcusable. You should be able to take one phase away from, if you want to stop the run and commit to that, then make them throw it over your head.
Matt, you did say in camp about this young team that it can't always be about the outcome and the results. It's got to be at the process. I know the first half sucked and you're pissed, but when you challenge them and they do answer the bell, I know you don't want a moral victory, but young teams could have gone in the tank completely.
Sure. I think, yeah. Again, I'm proud of our guys. I felt like we went out there, we competed in the second half. It obviously was just, we were in such a hole. And that's 2 weeks in a row. We've put ourselves in a pretty bad situation. We were very fortunate 4 days ago or whatever to come out of it. And tonight, against a really good team, it was an impossible hole to overcome.
You see plays where guys are on different pages sometimes. From what you could see on the second interception, it looked like Rome took it upfield and was open. It looked like Jordan was thinking he was going to.
Yeah, it's
What's supposed to happen?
well, he's supposed to run a basic. I think Rome thought the play went off schedule because the timing was a little bit off, and sometimes that happens. So I'm not going to put fault anywhere. There was a hole there. I think Jordan saw it right. I think I can't. I got to go back and look at the tape. But it's just one of those things that can happen, and unfortunately, it happened at a bad time. But those things happen in football.
There's nothing good about losing a 5-time All-Pro left tackle. Is there at least not the week-to-week of uncertainty that you can at least start planning now for life without him, or is this just a really bad deal to lose him to the?
Oh, obviously, yeah. I mean, I hate the situation Dave's in, and I feel for him. I mean, he's been battling and battling and battling to try to make it back, and it's just, I mean, he's had a bad injury, unfortunately, and I think we're seeing the effects of that. And I knew that when it happened. He's tried everything. He wants to be out there. He wants to play ball. He's tried anything and everything to make it back. And it's just his knee's not responding the right way. So I feel for him, and it's just a situation we're in right now.
2 more, please. Matt, is he? Can you effectively say he's done for the year? Then there was a report he's going to have had surgery. He's going to have another one in a couple of weeks. Can you?
I'm not going to get into that.
Unfair question, I'm sure at this point, but do you feel good about Rashid as the left tackle going forward for this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be competitive. You know that we're gonna make these guys compete for it, and I think she's done some nice things. Is it perfect? No, but I don't think anybody played perfect. So there's a lot of room for improvement for everybody. And again, we got to look at some of the things we're asking these guys to do and make sure that they're the right things for this football team. So I think that always starts with me and what we're asking these guys to, the situations we're putting them in, but I think he's played pretty well up to this point. I got to go back and look at the tape tonight and see how he did, but we got to find a much better way to run the football, because I think if you can do that, you take pressure off everybody. It's hard to sit in this league and drop back and drop back and drop back. That's just, especially when you're playing against some pretty good rushers. Hutchinson's, he's one of those guys that can wreck a game. And we gave up 5 sacks tonight or whatever it was. And, we knew it was going to be, they were going to battle, and they have a good pass rush, and they do a good job of scheming it up and trying to put them in certain situations. And, but I think we can certainly put our guys in a better situation as well. And it starts with our run game. We've got to find a way to run the football. You know, and we haven't been very successful at it up to this point.